everybody, what's up? It's Carey, and we're live here with Tuesday Tips, and there's a whole thing going on behind me. There's things happening, like signs and books and plants, and it's delightful. So this is my new office. I think I'm actually getting some things set up, which is exciting, and of course I have a mug today, which this is the message I needed to have today, to remember success is inevitable. Anything it is that you're trying to do, you will be able to do. And sometimes I just need to be told that, and maybe you do too. So today's mug, inevitable success. And the other thing that we're going to be talking about today is introverts versus extroverts, because I know that many of you may be introverts, and you may be wondering, hey, you may watch me, or you may watch Stacey, or you might watch other coaches that you like, and you may think well, wait a minute, you're on videos, you're on webinars, you're doing these things that are sort of out in the world, and if I'm an introvert, and how am I going to do that? Or you may think about if you have to coach 5 or 6 clients in a day, you might think how am I going to do that? Because that's talking to 6 people in an intense fashion in a single day. I'm going to pass out. I don't want to do that. I'd like to be a hermit and live under a rock instead. So it may be that being an introvert sort of leads you to doubt whether or not you can really be a coach and make a career out of it and make a great living out of it. And I want to share with you, I'll get to the punchline. I'll just get to the punchline, which is yes, you can. Yes, you can. You're allowed to proceed as if success is inevitable, because something that you may not know, or you may know, for those of you who know Stacey, my co-coach and co-founder of Health Coach Institute, and we are both diehard introverts. Actually, I shouldn't say diehard. We're kind of we're a little more introverted than extroverted. But both of us require a lot of alone time, and we've each got a child, and we've each got a spouse and a home and a business and a team and students and clients and all this. And so how have we managed to do that when we really, really, really both need to be alone? So that's what I want to talk about today. So first of all, just a reminder that introverts are really people who source their energy. They feel re-energized and rejuvenated by being alone. And extroverts are people who feel rejuvenated and refreshed and happy after they're with other people. So it's just a bit of a difference in how we refresh ourselves and feel alive again and feel inspired again, and how we can do life every day. If you're an extrovert, I wouldn't recommend working at home. You got to be around a lot of people. If you're an introvert, working at home is a dream. It's so great. Nobody's around for hours. It's awesome. So one of the things that you might want to know about introverts and extroverts is that it exists on a spectrum. And I mean, some people are a little bit of each, mostly. And so you just want to determine, am I more an extrovert or am I more an introvert, so that you can bring into your day other people if you need them, or quiet time if you need them. Another thing I wanted to do to recommend to you something that I found really helpful. This book that I've known I'm an introvert for a while. As a matter of fact, I was a professional actress for 22... about 14 or 15 years. And prior to that, I had been learning to act, so studying for 8 years. So I've been performing for a lot of years. And one of the things that I learned as I got deeper into my acting career, I found myself more and more miserable. And for those of you who don't know, I had an eating disorder for many years, and I actually was just talking about this with one of my awesome team members, Hannah, who you will meet. You'll meet myself and Hannah and much of our team if you're coming to HCI Live in Miami this May 18th through 20th. It's going to be amazeballs. And you can learn about it at hcilive.com/social. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the event in a bit, but we were talking about this video today, and Hannah said to me, well, how did you, let's talk about how you survived as an actress when you're an introvert, because when you're a working actress, just you might be rehearsing for 8 hours during the day, and then at night you go do a show for 2 or 3 hours. So you could be doing, I don't know, 10 to 11 hours of performing in a day. And that could be 6 days a week. And then you're running to this audition and that audition and this. Ultimately, there's a lot of output and a lot of people that you're around and people who are watching you. And there's not a lot of time for introverts to have downtime. I personally, she said, how did you survive that as an actress? And I was like, an eating disorder? That's how I survived it. That was my coping mechanism. A lot of Ben and Jerry's, a lot of Diet Coke, a lot of terrible, terrible foods for you. So I don't recommend that. I think I realized later, oh, okay, well, it turns out that I can't do that much output. I actually have to create more downtime. And that was something I learned way late into my acting career, like 14 years in. And then I finally realized, like, hey, actually, this is too much. I don't think I like it. And I stopped being a professional actress, and I focused solely on coaching. And now, if I want to do a project, an acting project on the side, I'll do it for fun. And then it's great. And then I go hide in a cave for a while. So if you're here, if you're joining us for Tuesday Tips, please write into the chat, say hello. If you are an introvert, if you have questions about being a coach and an introvert, type them into the chat. I would love to answer them for you. I definitely will get to questions, and I'll share some tips. So I don't think I survived being an actress all that well as an introvert. However, as a coach, we're still in front of a lot of people, whether it's online, there might be thousands of people watching a webinar, or hundreds of people, or a video such as this, or you might be in a live retreat environment and people are watching you. So how do you survive that? Well, the thing that I find about coaching that is so delightful is that, hello introverts, hello fellow introverts, please comment, say hello. The thing about coaching that I think is so genius for introverts is that it allows you so much time to yourself. That when you're working from home or an office, I actually, for the first time in a long time, I am not working from home. I got an office outside my house. But the reason why was because now at my house, I've got a nanny, and I've got a baby, and I've got delivery people running in and out, and house repair people running in and out, and the FedEx guy and the UPS guy. It's like a 3-ring circus at my house, and I was losing my mind. And I realized it's because I was used to, prior to having a baby, I was used to 5 days a week, at least 8 or 9 hours a day of solitude. And so I knew that the time had come. It was time to get an office, and I love it. So the good news about having your own space as a coach, wherever it may be for you, is that you shut the door or you go into your office and you are by yourself, and that you can work with clients on the phone. I don't like to even work on Skype. I don't want to see a client. Unless I'm face to face, it's very distracting for me to work with a client on Skype. I think I tried it once and I was like, ugh, no, I just don't like it. I find that on the phone, there's so much more, my intuition kicks in. I can hear so much more. There's an anonymity level that allows the client to really sort of relax and let her walls down or his walls down, and we have a much deeper, more impactful conversation on the phone. So, so that's when you're coaching, that's great. And between sessions, depending on, you're going to find for yourself how many people you can coach in a day. Early on, when Stacey and I started, it would be anywhere for me from 2 to 8. And I realized 2 was too little and 8 was too many. So I landed around 4 or 5. 4 or 5 in a day, and that was good. I started with 15-minute breaks between coaching sessions. And then I found I didn't like that. It was too short a time. So I didn't have time to pee, I didn't have time to eat. And if the session ran over, which was sometimes the case, then the whole break was gone and I was running to the next call and I was like, well, undone. So I would make sure that I'd have at least 20 minutes, if not a half an hour between sessions. The nice thing about learning to charge more as a coach is that you can have fewer clients, which means fewer sessions in a day. Or you can work with a group, so you are making even more. So you have to learn how to take the time that you have to coach and maximize it so you're making the most money possible. Now, when you're first starting out as a coach, you have to learn, and there's a learning curve and there's a charging curve. You don't come out of the gate charging $1,000 an hour. That just doesn't happen. You're charging what you can, and you're building your skills and you're building your confidence. But once you get to a certain point, then you can really start raising your fees. And I mentioned HCI Live, and I want to mention it again here because the thing that we're going to be teaching is how to enroll clients in high-end coaching programs. So wherever you are in your career, you might be in phase 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, you might be just starting and learning, or you may be coaching for 10 years. You have the opportunity to create a coaching package that is at a higher price point than you might think possible for where you are. You just don't yet know how to do it and how to position it and how to describe it and what to call it and what to put in it and how to price it and where to find the clients who pay for it, and what's the, once you do find a potential client, how do you draw them in to have a conversation with you or potential conversation. So these are all like detail pieces that you just need to learn, and we're going to teach those at HCI Live. And the other thing that's really, really crucial to charging more as a coach is making sure that your coaching skills are getting better and better and stronger and stronger. Right now, wherever you are, you're going to be a better coach next year, and you're going to be a better coach the year after that, and you're going to be a better coach the year after that. So there's sometimes an expectation that I have to be an amazing, masterful coach now, or I can't charge people. And that's just not how it works. When I started, 2006 was the first year I started coaching professionally, and it's now 2017. Was I as good then as I am now? No, hell no. No, not even close. But I was still able to charge clients, and they got results. It's not like clients came to me and I was like taking them for a ride and I was scamming them or something like that. That's not how it went. It's just that over the years, your skills are going to build. And if you're not coaching and being paid for the coaching, your skills will not build as quickly. It's one thing to think like, oh, well, maybe I will, I'll just coach for free. I'll coach for free for years, and that will help me feel confident enough to charge a lot. And the truth is, it won't. It won't, because there's the exchange of money between the client and you raises your confidence. Because when you're accepting a certain amount of money for your coaching, you step up and you go, oh, I am doing this now. Like this is happening. I'm here. I'm in this coaching exchange with this client, and you show up in a different way. And that's part of the power of charging more, and part of why you want to. So, little sneak peek from the HCI Live event is that 20% of the people that are attracted to you, your tribe that may want to coach with you, 20% of those people do want a high-end experience. They want something luxurious and special and different than what everyone else is getting. So you want to be able to provide that. The wonderful thing about being able to create high-end coaching programs and fill them if you're an introvert is that means that you are coaching less. You're coaching fewer people for more money. One of the things that we'll show you at HCI Live is basically a simple, we call it a profit pyramid. It's just a simple business plan, because I don't understand business plans at all. And they're too really complicated for what a coaching business is. But essentially you need to know, okay, how many clients at what price point do I need to make $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year? And we're going to show you at this event that actually the business model or structure, the number of clients that you need to make $50,000 is the same as 100,000. The only difference is that you end up doubling your fee. And by doubling your fee, I don't mean charging $10 trillion. I mean going from like $1,500 for a coaching package to $3,000 for a coaching package. And now for some of you, that may seem insane, like $3,000. That's insane. I can't imagine charging that much. And then for some of you, you're going, I can sort of see that. I could see why that would be. So I want to assure you that we have a lot of graduates. Stacey and I charge that. We have a lot of graduates who start at $1,000 or $1,500, and then they start ramping it up. So this is something that you can do. You just need to be shown how. And that's true for everything in coaching. Coaching is not complex. It's just unknown. So as soon as someone like pulls back the curtain and shows you how it works behind the scenes, you're going to go, oh, that's not so difficult. There are way more difficult professions than coaching. Like, coaching is fairly simple, thank God, or I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, so we're talking about introverts, we're talking about extroverts. We're talking about what can help you when you're coaching if you're an introvert. So a couple of tips that I want to share with you. The first thing that you have to do is really accept that you are an introvert. Or there's a part of you, some of you have both, that is pretty introverted. You need time alone. If you're someone who needs time alone, it can be very easy to dismiss that need and go, well, I don't really need that. Well, my family needs me and my kid needs me. And oh my God, it's very hard with kids to be like, mommy needs to be alone right now. Because of course you feel guilty, like I should be with them, but I'm dying inside. So if you need time alone, ultimately you're the one that has to accept that and protect it. Accept it and protect it. Because no one else is really going to until you do first. You can have family members, support staff, your team that you work with if you have one. They absolutely can support your introversion, but you have to support it first and protect it first. Accept it and protect it. They'll accept it and protect it once you do, but if you don't and you expect someone in your life to sort of come save you and let you have time alone, it's not likely to happen. So it's like if you're mad at your spouse, like, why won't he or she give me time alone? It's like, well, you have to be the one, unfortunately, along with everything else that you do. Yes. Yes. You have to be the one that says, I need this time. Without this time alone, I don't feel alive, and I'm not here for anyone. I can't be here for anyone. So someone just posted, I think it was Kate, in the chat, a phenomenal book for introverts. If you don't have it, I have it too. I got it from a mentor of mine, and I had not read it, and I love it. It's called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. So I think there's also a sense of introverts, one of the reasons we don't accept it and protect it is that we don't value it. And so we think like, well, extroversion is sort of more highly valued in our society. So we want to look at what are the benefits and what are the gifts of being an introvert. And that's what this book shows you, so that you can value it and in a whole new light, and that gives you way more motivation to accept it and protect it. So that's the first tip that you will need. The second tip is that you have to be very, very, very wary and careful and vigilant about overscheduling, particularly if you're an introvert who has actually a lot of energy and wants to do a lot and a lot of interests. There's, oh God, Rachel, I totally hear that. Just comments is sometimes I feel like the turkey at Thanksgiving. Everyone wants a piece of me, and at the end of the day, there's nothing left. Oh my God, that is so true. There are definitely times in the evening, once I put my daughter to bed, where I'm just literally, my husband will look at me like, so what do you want to do, or what do you want to eat? And I'm like, I can't feel anything. I'm numb. I don't know. I'm just numb because it feels like I just haven't been filled enough with time alone. So, yes, I have the book right here. Yes, absolutely. Couldn't wait. Was so excited. Okay, so you have to be very, very cautious of overscheduling. That means as a coach with your own business, particularly if you have, a family, if you have other passions and interests, if you have parents who rely, if you have other people who rely on you, you have to become a rigorous defender of your calendar. Rigorous. And this has been a tough lesson for me to learn, particularly if you're like me, a recovering people pleaser. So you don't want to say no to anybody. As people ask you for something, and if everybody wants a piece of you, you always want to say yes, 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 yes. I want to do this for you, and that for you, and this for you, and that for you. And that if you start to say no, that you're disappointing other people, and God forbid, we disappoint other people, or we show up as less than perfect, or less than the way that we want to be seen. So what I would say is that the best thing to do is that when you say no to those people, especially the ones that you're most worried about disappointing, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your parents, whoever's closest to you, that you're saying yes to yourself and that it's better for them in the long run. That in that moment where you're saying no, it feels like, oh, I'm letting you down. I'm such a bad, insert the blank, fill in the blank. I'm such a bad wife. I'm such a bad husband. I'm such a bad partner. Such a bad blah, blah, blah. You're not. Because what you're doing, it's like, eating during a day. You have to eat to feel energetic and stay alive, and you have to drink water. Alone time is like air, water, and food if you're an introvert. And so if you're not protecting that and making time for it, then you're going to be in trouble, and you're not going to be able to show up well in your relationships. You're going to show up as like the dish rag version of you, or like Kate said, the totally used dish rag version of you. You're like, I'm numb, I can't feel anything. Let's have a nice deep conversation, or whatever it might be that you want to do in your relationship, but you can't because there's nothing left of you. So for coaching, that means longer spaces of time between coaching sessions. That means getting crazy insane about block scheduling if you're coaching, that you're only coaching on certain days of the week at certain times. Maybe your day to coach is Monday and you coach from 12 to 5. Great. What you don't want to have is a session on Monday and a session on Wednesday night and a session on Friday morning and a session on Saturday afternoon. That's going to make you insane because you're going to feel like you never get to turn off from coaching. You want to know that in a given week, okay, I know I'm coaching on Tuesday from 11 to 6, whatever, and on Wednesday from 12 to 6, and then I'm done. I'm not coaching anymore. Monday I'm off, Thursday I'm off, Friday I'm off from coaching. Then you might be working on your business instead. You may be working on marketing or creating a program or dealing with customer service or something else, but you're not coaching. Very, very important. You also want to make sure, like on a social level, that you're just not overscheduling yourself. If you're seeing in your travel calendar, oh look, there are 2 trips and 2 weekends in a row and I have to work in between those trips, that's too much. And you say no. All right, so you become rigorous about your calendar so that you can have alone time. The next tip is to watch comparing yourself to extroverts. This is so important when it comes to live events. So live trainings are something that Stacey and I have always attended to increase our coaching skills, increase our business skills, is exactly why you would be coming to HCI Live in May. And I would often go into an event and I'd watch really extroverted people who just work the room. They just go around and hi, I'm so-and-so, and hi, I'm so-and-so, and they just, before you know it, they've met 50 people. They're BFFs with all these people. They have all their contact information and all these follow-up plans. And I'm sitting there going, I can't, like comparing myself to that person and knowing that I could never do what that person just did because I'd be so uncomfortable. So you have to create circumstances for yourselves at live trainings that work for you. So a couple different ways that I do that. First of all, you have to commit to attending live trainings. It's absolutely crucial for your coaching career, because being at home alone, it's just too easy to get isolated. It's too easy to believe that it's not possible, or it's not going to work for you, or everybody else is better than you, or whatever. And it's so important to get into the room live. The second thing is, if there's a VIP option at the event, if you can, I would choose it. And here's why a VIP option is great. Because it's like a special access pass to a training where you get to register early, so it'll be less crowded. You get to choose your seat in the room before anyone else does, so it'll be less crowded, right? So you get to, if you want a seat by the door, which I often do, we call it the runner's chair. I want to be able to run if I need to. You want to be able to do that. If you don't want to have to worry, like, gosh, I don't know anybody at this event, like, who am I going to have lunch with? Well, that's solved, because usually a VIP sort of pass to the event includes lunches. You don't have to worry about that. You're going to go into a room with a group of people, and you're going to have a buffet, and people are going to sit together, and it's like a given that you can be like, oh, hey, can I sit at your table? And you can sit and talk to one person that entire time. So it's really kind of a nice, it's a nice way to deal with events. And let me just share with you, for those of you who are coming to HCI Live in May, in Miami, it's May 18th through the 20th, we have this option, we call it a Spark Pass. And basically, the things you get are early registration, so you kind of with a smaller group when you register instead of a big line. You get early access to the room, so you have first dibs on seating. You can make sure that you're seated where you're comfortable. You have lunch all 3 days. The first day, Stacey and I get to come in and hang with you guys. The second day, there's a Q&A with our success coaches. The third day, there's an exercise that's going to help you set yourself up for success when you get home. But you don't have to have those awkward moments of like, who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to have lunch with? And who do I have to pretend to be friends with? Like, so hard for an introvert. And the cool thing about this is that it's a lot of value and so inexpensive. It's $197 for this Spark Pass. And when I've done VIP at events, I've paid anywhere from like $500 to one time it was like $5,000. That was an expensive lunch. But it was worth it, because I feel like it was a smaller group of people, and that is better for me in terms of having conversations, in terms of networking, in terms of finding a couple of people that I can vibe with and kind of sticking with them. So if you go to hcilive.com/social, you'll be able to get the Spark Pass there. There's a limited number of those passes because for lunches in particular, the hotel has a capacity. And so I believe that we are pretty significantly, maybe half sold on our Spark Passes. So if that's something that you think would be useful for you, to go to hcilive.com/social and you can get that Spark Pass. If you've already registered for your seat for HCI Live and you want to get that Spark Pass, just make sure there's a pop-up on that page. You'll just enter the same email that you used to register for your ticket, and then the additional $100 will come up for the Spark Pass. Very, very easy. And if you have any questions about it, you can always contact support at Health Coach Institute. Okay, so that's one way to approach a live event if you're an introvert that just makes the whole experience a little easier for you. Another way is and so you don't compare yourself to the extroverts. So another way that I can avoid comparing myself to the extroverts in the room is that I play a game with myself, especially when I'm walking into a room and I just don't know anybody. And this could work for networking events too. So One of the things I do is I'll just say to myself, well, first of all, just going is a win. Just going is a win. I already won, yay. And then the next game I play with myself is that I will look to talk with one person, just one. In each, like the person I'm sitting next to, I might say, hello, it's nice to meet you. Or at a break, I will just say, oh, okay, I'm going to talk to one person. Maybe that person is getting tea or water or something. And I might, say, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so. Once I've talked to one person, I'm done. And I let myself relax. I let myself go away. I let myself check my phone if I can't get away from the hustle and bustle of the room. I'll let myself, if I'm in a hotel, I go up to my room to go to the bathroom just to get like a little breather. And that helps me tremendously. Another thing that can really help you, whether you're at a live event or you're coaching at home, and this may sound a little crazy, but I heard this from a mentor, a coach of mine named Colette Barron-Reed, and it works. So one of the things you can do when you're coaching at home is that you can have a bowl of water and fill it with sea salt, like a cup or two, and have it like next to you or under your feet when you're coaching. And it literally absorbs the energy of the other people that are sort of with you and around you on a coaching day. Coaching is so fun, and sometimes it can get intense. So I want to make sure that I feel like I have people's energy sort of hanging on me by the end of the day. So that bowl of salt water makes a huge difference. Now, in a live event space, can you do that? Unless it's your event. If it's your event, you can, and I do. We have tables on the stage, and there's always a big bowl of salt water near me. But what you could do is get a little spray bottle, and then you put salt water in the spray bottle, and when you go to your room to go to the bathroom, you just give a couple of sprays, you walk through the spray, and you're going to feel like cleared. It's going to be really, really nice. Very, very simple tip, very, very effective. So those are a couple tips. Would love to take some questions for you. Let me see on the chat if we got some questions. Let's see. Oh, I can look on the chat here. So great question from Alyssa earlier on in the podcast. What is coaching? Well, excellent question. Coaching is this amazing, insane, incredible career where you as a coach get to connect with somebody, either one-on-one or like in a group format, and you get to ask them a series of questions. Maybe you teach them a little bit of information, but ultimately you're asking them a series of questions in a specific order that help create for them a complete breakthrough that helps them get what they want in life. So if somebody wants to be healthier and they talk with the health coach is going to be able to use questions in a really powerful way so that that person has an experience that like blows their mind open, and all of a sudden they see possibilities for themselves that they never saw before, and they're almost automatically inspired to take the kinds of actions that they've never taken before. And that would be true whether you're coaching somebody on health or money or business or parenting or spirituality or whatever the case may be. That you have conversations as a coach that create miracles. You have conversations that change lives. That's what you do as a coach. And the good news about those conversations is that when you learn a coaching methodology, it's actually pretty structured, what you're doing. So you're not like going off the cuff, trying to be profound or important, or like you're not trying to analyze people or be a therapist. That's not what coaching is. Coaching is a structured series of questions and a way to have a conversation with someone and engage with someone so that their lives begin to change. And what feels like miracles occur in their lives. And it's to me, it's the only way to work and the most fulfilling career there is. Okay. I think I answered that one. Okay, so Miranda had a question. She said, Carey, what advice would you give someone that is so young doing health coaching? I'm about to turn 20, and although I'm mature and outgoing, I feel like it will be hard for me to get clients or be taken seriously. Please help. So, Miranda, this is a really great question. And the thing that's interesting about it is that what I have seen for myself and for the thousands of clients that Stacey and I have had, the thousands of coaches that we've trained, is that at every age, at any age, there's often a concern or could be a worry about being taken seriously. So while it feels like at age 20, like, hey, I'm young, am I going to be taken seriously? Yeah, that's valid. And also consider someone who is 65 and saying, hey, I feel old. Will I be taken seriously? Or consider someone who is in their 30s and they've been a stay-at-home parent for 15 years and they go, hey, I've been a stay-at-home parent, I'm going to be a coach. Will I be taken seriously? So the reason I share these examples is I want you to know that the worry about being taken seriously is not age specific. And that's not to dismiss your experience, but to tell you that kind of doesn't matter what age you are or what your life situation is. Most people have a concern about being taken seriously as a coach, wherever they are when they're entering the profession. So, my what I would share with you about that is that the single best thing that you can do to get past that worry and concern, first of all, you're doing health coaching, so you're already in it. The best thing that you can do is go to people who are around your peer group age, maybe a 10-year radius on either side, a 10-year, like 15 to 25. And maybe you're focused there as your first clients, but that you coach people. And it doesn't matter what you charge, to be honest. It matters that you're being paid and that people are hiring you at your age, your friends, your colleagues, whoever, people who are close to your age and understand your experience and you understand theirs. And to see that I can't tell you enough that you can do it and you're going to make a huge difference in people's lives. It's got to be your experience of doing it and your experience of working with clients that tells your critter brain, oh, this might work. Otherwise, your critter brain is going to go, no one's going to take you seriously. You're too young. No one's going to take you seriously. You're too young. And it's going to play that on a loop over and over again. Well, if you are able to say, well, hey, critter brain, I have 15 clients under my belt, and they've been doing pretty well. I think maybe actually I could do this, and I could probably coach somebody who's older than me significantly and get a great result. Because at the end of the day, it's not about age, it's about skill. And the only way you develop skill is by practice. So I would encourage you to take everything that you're learning in whatever coach training you're in about how to get clients and go out and start working with them, because it will make the difference. We have something in the Become a Health Coach training called the 10 times rule, that you try something 10 times before you decide it's not going to work. So for you, Miranda, I would set the goal at 10 clients. And if after 10 clients you still feel that you're not being taken seriously, let's have a conversation. Sure, I hope that's useful for you. All right, let's see. All right. Oh, there's a question about the event. Saying if I don't have a specific niche, can I still attend the HCI Live event? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I would strongly encourage you to do so, because niche is probably one of the biggest challenges that most coaches have, is choosing one, sticking to it. Is it the right one? Will people want it? It's a cause of sometimes a major amount of agony. Not every coach has agony over niche, but lots of coaches have agony over niche. I think the value of the live event is that you will hear from coaches who are doing this for a living. It's working for them. They're making money month after month after month after month. And when you hear, after you've heard 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 coaches talking about this, all in different niches, you start to think for yourself, okay, first of all, I'd like to decide that I'm going to have a niche. That's the first step. And then the second is, what might it be? And that you can coach with Stacey and I, you can work with our success coaches, you can work with the tribe around you to help you figure that out. But that you come to the event with the intention of, I am going to solve this niche challenge here at this event. And lo and behold, it's very likely that will happen. Okay, let's see some other questions. Any other questions that you have about introversion, about niche, about live trainings? Feel free to type in. And just in case you are still not sold on introverts being able to do an amazing job as coaches, just want to share with you a list of very famous introverts. Audrey Hepburn, Albert Einstein, Rosa Parks. She didn't have much an effect on the world, did she? She's an introvert. Bill Gates, Steven Spielberg, Sir Isaac Newton, Eleanor Roosevelt, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Al Gore, Marissa Mayer, Abraham Lincoln, J.K. Rowling. These people have done incredible things in the world. And they use their introversion as the fuel for what it is they're bringing to contribute to the world. And the thing that's great about this list is a reminder that we can do that too. And that not being busy 24 hours a day and in front of people all the time, running ourselves down, that's not the path to success when you're an introvert. And being willing to go against the grain and saying, no, what I need for myself is something different than what other people need who are extroverts. I need this alone time. It's really interesting too, because when you get what you need, the time alone, especially if you're an introvert, then you go, wait, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I have 5 hours to myself. I can read a book. What's wrong? Shouldn't there be something to be worried about? Don't I need to be anxious? I'm not allowed to be this calm. Am I? Am I allowed to be this calm? And then we get to look at, oh, wow, where might we be addicted to anxiety and worry? Where might we be addicted to anxiety and worry? Where might we not let ourselves relax? In what ways, and I find this for myself, do I not give myself permission to relax? Like somehow, if I relax, the whole world is going to come crumbling down around me. There are some great questions here. Let's see. I was missing those. Forgive me. How do introverts get the confidence to market or network their coaching business live or face-to-face without panicking or feeling overwhelmed? Okay, Connie, this is a great question. So, first of all, you get to decide what size coaching business you want and how you want to market it. There are a multitude of ways to market your coaching business, and the good news is you don't have to do them all. So you get to look at, well, what are the ways to do that? If you're an introvert, you prefer to write. Email marketing is not dead, by the way. That is a great way to get clients online. You don't have to be on video to get clients online. You can use writing really, really powerfully. When you're going to a networking event, I hate networking events, but you have to do it because you have to widen your circle of people that you know and people that you're encountering, and you're opening yourself up to possibility. And so the only way that I can do it is I play the game with myself of, if I'm going to a networking event that lasts like 1 to 2 hours, I'll say, okay, I'm just going to talk to 2 people. I'm going to go. Remember, that's a win. Just going is a win. I'm going to talk to 2 people. And if nothing like follows from that, I let myself go away and leave. So that's one. I'm not walking into the networking event thinking I have to talk to this entire room and charm them all. The other thing is when I walk into a networking event or any event where I'm going to meet people that I don't know, I constantly think of how can I serve them? How can I serve you? How can I serve you? I don't really want to talk about myself, so I focus on asking them questions. Tell me about what you do. What kind of clients are you looking for? What resources do you need? What's exciting in your profession right now? What drives you nuts about your profession right now? So that I can get to know that person and that person can talk. And the truth is people love to talk about themselves, and I want to use that to my advantage and let them talk as much as they want. And eventually they're going to come back and say, well, tell me about what you do. And then I will tell them. And if there's a way that makes sense for me, like if I want to follow up with that person, I'll set that up. And if I don't, I'll say it was great to meet you. Best of luck. If I meet anybody that would be useful for you to know, I will let you know. Okay, here. Okay. All right. Monica, it's hard for me to make a connection to people I don't know because I really dislike small talk. Check. But I'm too shy to get deep with people right off the bat. How do I find a middle ground and make connections that will lead to landing clients? So, Monica, I hope that previous answer helped you, and that is by asking other people questions. That way, you don't have to make small talk. You get to learn about the other person. You also get to see where are the openings for potential deepening the conversation. And at the beginning, yeah, it's a little bit of small talk, even though you're asking questions, but you're doing it with the eye of how can I serve this person? Where's the opportunity for deeper conversation? And play the game with yourself of I only need to talk to a couple people. Sarah, this is an excellent question. Will we see actual coaching sessions? I'm interested to see how they play out. I think that would be amazing. And one of the things we have in our trainings is coaching demos, because you do have to hear masterful coaches coach. In fact, Stacey does the demos in our trainings. They're so good. She's crazy good. But wouldn't it be fascinating if we could bring some of those demonstrations to people outside our training so you could hear how a coaching conversation plays out? I love that idea, and we will definitely consider that. Thank you for that suggestion. What if it's hard to have introverts open up when we're coaching them? Great question. So when you're coaching somebody, and we'll go for just another couple of minutes here with some of these awesome questions. When you're coaching somebody, the whole purpose of the coaching conversation is for you as the coach to get on the other client's map, meaning map, M-A-P, meaning how they see the world. You're, as the coach, not interested in how you see the world. That's not important. What's important is how is this particular person seeing the world? How is this person coming to the conclusions that they're coming to? How is this person able to, based on how they see the world, open up to new possibilities? That's really where you're going in a coaching conversation. If you are working with an introvert, you could call it out. One option is to call it out and say, have you heard of these two kinds of people in the world? One kind is extroverts and one kind is introverts. And introverts are people that get energy from being alone. You could give that whole explanation. And then you could say, would you say that you're an introvert or an extrovert? And they say, oh, I'm an introvert. They say, oh, so how's this conversation feel? This must be a blast for you. Like, wow, this must be fun, talking to a stranger, how delightful. And you can make a joke about it depending on your personal style. Another option that you could do with a client who is an introvert and ultimately you want to get to the point where the purpose of that strategy, and the one I'm about to share with you, is to acknowledge that they're an introvert and that it's totally okay. Completely okay. And in fact, fantastic that they're an introvert. So that they don't have to feel pressure about just being okay with being who they are with you as the coach. So another option to get to that outcome is to have your client do a Myers-Briggs test, which is something you can get online for free. It's very easy, and it will show extroversion versus introversion. and you can discuss the results and go, oh my gosh, did you know you were an introvert? Did you know that you know, source energy from being alone, and that you'd really rather not have like loud, gregarious conversations or whatever? And they go, oh my gosh, I'm an introvert. This is so cool. And it could be an enormous breakthrough for someone to learn that about themselves. Or it could be that the person goes, oh yeah, I've been like that for years. And they're quiet. Be like, okay, great. So then you can say to them, and it's perfectly okay for you to be that here, and you're going to get an incredible result. Ultimately, what we always want to do is make the client, whatever it is they are experiencing or whoever it is that they are, that it's accepted and embraced. Because most people don't get that in their lives. They feel they have to be someone else or something different. And if you as the coach can help them accept their nature and embrace their nature, they start to relax, the critter brain relaxes, and they begin to open up. Oh gosh, these are great. Andrea, I'm not sure which one. As an introvert, money conversations are hard. Any advice? Let me tell you something. As an extrovert or extrovert, it doesn't matter who you are, money conversations are hard. They're hard for everybody. And the reason why they're hard is because we each have a set of beliefs about money. Whether you think money is good or bad, or how it's supposed to be used, or how much you're allowed to have, or we all have a set belief system about money, or at least it's been set and programmed in us for many years. So you as the coach, part of your job in your training as the coach is to address and make changes to your own money mindset. This actually has nothing to do with introversion or extroversion. It has to do with how much you're working on deepening, shifting, transforming, and changing your own money mindset so that you can hold your client and yourself as completely powerful and capable around money. So I'm going to say that again. You want to work on your money mindset to the point where you hold yourself and your client as completely powerful and capable of making money, keeping money, handling money, making decisions about money. When you are in a place of unexplored beliefs and behaviors around money of your own, it is almost impossible to coach your client on money. And guess what? You're going to have a conversation with every single client you have about money because you have to share your fee. If for no other reason, you'll have to share your fee. And if you run a business, you have to be thinking about money and addressing money. This is, I feel, like one of the sort of like secret success secrets about what makes great coaches great and what makes great coaching businesses great. And it has to do with beliefs around money, relationship to money, and behaviors around money. And being willing to explore that for yourself so that you can hold a space for your client. Whether you're introverted, extroverted, you have to be able to hold for your client, no matter what they say to you about money, that they are completely powerful, they are completely capable of creating the money they want for the opportunities that they want. Ooh, we could go on forever. So Lorinda has a question. I definitely want to purchase a Spark Pass, but I'm bringing a guest and would like to know if I would need a Spark Pass for my guest also. Yeah, here's what I would say about that. If you're bringing a guest and you want to make sure that you're experiencing, like he or she is coming to lunch with you, like you're not going, hey guest, so fun to be with you, see you, I'm going to lunch. Then you would want to get a Spark Pass for your guest as well. If the guest is the kind of guest where it's okay for you to separate that way and that's not an issue, then you don't have to have a pass for your guest unless the guest says they want one. But so that's how I would, the criteria I would use to evaluate it. Do you think it would be, would you want the guest to be experiencing all of the Spark Pass experience with you? Then if so, yeah, you'd want to get that for your guest. As an introvert, how do we obtain speaking engagements? Well, Mackenzie, I would say that the first thing to do is make sure that you understand why you'd want speaking engagements. If you're a coach, it's probably to get clients. So you're going to have to start having really specific criteria about the kinds of places that you speak. And what I mean by that is that they're going to be fewer, perhaps, than others. Or you're going to need to make sure. Actually, let me reel that back. Speaking engagements, the first thing to think about it before obtaining them is recovering from them. Because if you don't have a plan for recovery, you're never going to want to book them. It's going to seem like too much. So what you have to do after speaking engagements is make sure that you have the next half day free. Don't schedule anything, don't do anything. After a speaking engagement, you probably have to do some follow-up potentially with people who are in your audience who want to be clients or referral partners or whatever opportunities might arise from that speaking arrangement. So you're going to speak, you're going to follow up right away, like in the car or like that very next morning, but then don't plan anything. At the very least, don't plan anything the next day where you have to talk to people. You've got to have a recovery day. When you know you have that recovery built in, then you want to go to, okay, if I still want to book speaking engagements because I want to get clients, then my number one criteria is to find places that have a built-in audience, and that's who I want to talk to. So don't go to an organization or a location that has no audience already, where someone says, yeah, great, you can do a talk here, you have to fill the room. Don't do that. Too much marketing, too much difficulty, way too difficult, especially when you're starting out. If you're further down the road, that might not be so hard because you may have an email list, you may have people who follow you and want to come see you speak. But your main criteria is to make sure that you're booking talks at places where they have a built-in list. So they're doing the marketing for you. And people come to the talks. How will you know that? Well, you'll attend. You'll find the talks that they're already doing, some other speakers, and you will attend. And you'll see, oh, and you can do it in silence. No one has to know you're there. You can be a little like detective and see, do I like this space? Does it feel good to me? Do these people feel good to me? Does this vibe feel good to me? And if you have the opportunity, if the answer is yes, and you have the opportunity to meet the people who run the space or run the event, then you can just go up to them and say, oh, hey, I'm Carey, and I just wanted to tell you something that you appreciated about the talk or the event or the speaker that you just saw. And say, it was great to meet you. And you could say, what is your process for booking speakers? And that's it. So you have a planned script of like, okay, I know I'm attending a place where I might want to speak. I'm going to watch another speaker. If I like it, I'm going to go find the people who run the events and say, hey, nice to meet you. I really liked X about this speaker. What's the process for booking speakers in this space? And that's it. And then if you get an answer that you want to follow up on, great. And if not, move on to the next one. All right. Oh, gosh. This is so great. Thank you so much, everyone who asked questions. We went a little longer than normal, but hey, there are a lot of amazing introverts in the world, and we deserve to spend some time together, right? So it was a pleasure to be with you. And don't forget, we get to be together live at hcilive.com. HCI Live in May, 18th through the 20th. You can go to hcilive.com/social and you can reserve your seat, or you can do one better and reserve your seat and a Spark Pass so that you get lunches with us every day and our team and early access to the event and early registration. It just makes for a smoother, more easy, nice experience. And by the way, I will just say one of the benefits of a Spark Pass with us at HCI Live is when you go to the lunch, it's all going to be like gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan options, vegetarian options. sometimes I go into lunches and they're like, it's bread and chicken with like cream sauce. And I'm like, why did I come here? But that's not going to happen at HCI Live because we're going to have really, really good, clean food for you. So I will see you guys on the following Tuesday when we will be back for more tips and my fancy new digs. And just remember, as we part today, proceed as if success is inevitable. Whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, you can do this. You can have an amazing career as a coach, and we're here to support you while you do it. Bye, everyone.